So this is on couple startup synergies. This is not very discussed topic, and I would love to hear more from it. And this will be moderated by Noureen Aysha. She's the co-founder of FemiSafe. Now I'll hand over the mic to Noureen and look forward for a wonderful session.
Thank you so much for the introduction. Hi everybody. So today we are going to have this session on couple startup synergies, and I'm pretty sure you all must be wondering how is it, to be a couple as well as business partners. So let me invite the panelists. So we have Jismi and Jobin from Jobin and Jismi IT Services. Please give them a good round of applause. Come on. You guys have all had food, right? So you should be very energetic. Okay, so next we have Ajeesh and Vandana. So they're also couplepreneurs, but both of them have their different startups. Ajeesh is a co-founder of Open Technologies and Vandana is a co-founder of Curate. Next we have Lakshmi of Prophase. Actually it was supposed to be Lakshmi and Vaishak, but unfortunately Vaishak could not make it up. But I think Lakshmi is going to do justice to this whole panel. So let's begin. So hi everyone, and so we have these amazing couplepreneurs, and I'm really proud to be a moderator for this because I myself is a couplepreneur. So I think we'll just listen from them what they do, what their startup is. So Jismi and Jobin, over to you guys. You guys can give a brief introduction and then we'll move on to the questions.
Good afternoon all, I'm Jobin, this is Jismi, and our company name is Jobin and Jismi IT Services. So we have started our company in 2012 in Chalakudi. The exact place is Kota, which is 6 kilometers from Chalakudi. We are partners of Oracle, and we give cloud ERP known as Oracle NetSuite and e-commerce. And right now we have a division for IoT and industrial automation. So that is the brief about our company.
Hi everyone. First of all, thanks for this opportunity. Thanks to Kerala Startup Mission. My name is Ajeesh. I'm one of the co-founder and CTO at Huddle. To give a disclaimer before that, me and Vandana, we are partners in life but not in the business. So we have two different startups, just to be clear. Just to give a quick background about Open, we started back in 2017. Before starting Open, I and my other co-founders were part of a company called PayU, which was a payment gateway. We were dealing with a lot of the small, medium enterprises at that point of time, and realized that there are a lot of problems the finance teams of these SMEs face when it comes to, automating finance. So that led us to Open. So Open is a platform which automates finance, banking, and payments for business. So that's a quick brief about myself. I'll hand over to Vandana.
Hello everyone. So myself Dr. Vandana. I run a health tech platform for women for reversing lifestyle conditions like PCOS, combining Ayurveda, yoga, strength training, mental health counseling, everything in one platform. Literally, we provide everything a woman needs to reverse her PCOS. So we basically educate women, provide awareness. We help them provide a curated plan according to their PCOS needs. And we give them help them build a sustainable PCOS reversal journey. So that's about Curate.
Hi all, I'm Lakshmi. So, let's go Sugande. Okay. Nice, so happy to see all of you here at Huddle Global 2023. So, our startup name is Prophase Technologies. So we are into cyber security, web application security product space basically. So it's me and Vaishak. So basically, kudos to these two couples. I mean, basically being a couplepreneur, it's not an easy game because in life and in business we are partnered together. So I think it's it's a major achievement if you have that, been doing that successfully in this space. So we are actually into cyber security. So what we do is we secure applications. So now, as we all know, the geopolitical situation is changing, and cybersecurity is becoming the need of the hour. Especially because of the war issues and all of that, cyber attacks are increasing. So we secure applications from all kinds of cyber attacks, be it enterprises, governments, and all of that. So we have customers in the government space, in the defense, in the airport sector. So we've been able to secure them from even massive DDoS attacks. So that's what we're doing. So we are headquartered in Kerala and having our business operations in Delhi. And now we are expanding globally as well. So that's it about Prophase in a nutshell.
Thank you so much to all the panelists for introducing yourself. I think everybody might, have got an idea of what they do and what industry they are into. So my question would be, let's go to the first couple. So I mean, obviously you guys did not get married thinking that you guys would start a business together, right? So what was that moment where you felt, okay, let's do a startup or let's do a business and let's do it together? Because I have seen a lot of couples who kind of like to keep it very different. They like to be in different professions. They like to, not discuss their work. But being a couplepreneur, there's no work-life balance. So I want to hear from you guys. What made you guys think, okay, let's do a business together?
Okay, hi everyone. So basically, after marriage, our marriage was in 2010. So after marriage, we were working, both of us working in a different domain. And I had a break due to maternity. When I tried to get back to industry, it was like career gap. That is a big issue, right? So nobody was taking me as a professional. So everybody was asking, okay, you have a gap, so you are not up to date with the technology. When I discussed this with Jobin, he was like, why don't you start an application? Why don't you work on an hour application? So we were basically mobile application development. We started. Jobin also was involved a lot. He was a business development. He knows how to do the writing, business analysis. So we sit together, we discussed about this particular application. That application was commercially a big flop, but we learned a lot, and we started giving service to different customers. He also kept his job, and we were actively involved in developing application. And it was like we started in our home, a single room with 2 laptops, and we had a very huge debt at that time because we had just made our home. So there was loan. So it's like it was technically very good time. We don't have anything to think else. We don't have money, so we have to invest all our energy and time. That is the investment we had. And it was a really great time together. And once we have another people came, a new employee, he asked whether he can also join our startup. So we said, okay, we cannot make him sit in our home, right? So we got a small space. We rented a small space. And when we started working, more customers came, so we had to grow. Now we are a 200-member team. And we are still growing. And it was really a great journey so far.
Listening to this story, it actually resonates a lot with, me and my co-founder's story, because again the same thing, we were just newly married, moved to a city, did a startup. Again, we wanted employees, but then we could not bring them home. So I could really resonate with that, and I don't know if you guys have noticed it, I can really notice that chemistry between them. You guys are like through thick and thin, and it's really amazing to see you guys together like that.
Like black and black.
Exactly. Look at their, the combination of the color. I mean, the dresses they wore. It's like too much matching. Glasses. I mean, everything. Yeah. even the watch. So he's just showing his watch. Okay, so we'll go to the next couple, Ajeesh and Vandana. So I mean, I cannot ask them if how did they end up starting their journey, entrepreneurship journey together, because obviously they have different startups. But I have one question to you, Vandana. So Ajeesh was an entrepreneur way before you. So I want to ask you, like, did Ajeesh influence you in any way to venture into this whole world of entrepreneurship?
Yeah, definitely, because he has been a great inspiration for me throughout. So I started, as an online PCOS reversal program during 2018 or 2019, before the pandemic. So gradually after we got married, he was telling me from then, why don't you scale up and make it into a business, into a real startup or something like that. So I was a little reluctant because I didn't know. I come from an entirely different background. So it took me a little time, but definitely he had made a lot of inspiration, and he has helped us a lot, because we both come from a non-tech background. We don't have any idea about tech when we were beginning. So he had mentored us greatly. He had given that guidance how the product should be, and he sometimes used to be very very bitter comments as well. When okay, this is not going to work, and this is no different from other brands. So you wanted to showcase something unique. So this has actually greatly helped us to build something unique or build a product what it is today. So yes, he has been a great inspiration from the beginning.
Awesome. So Ajeesh, has she improved? Because you've been training her since some time, right?
Yeah. So when we started, before marriage, we knew each other. So she was into medicine, Ayurveda medicine, and she never used to understand why I come late to the home, after office, right? Now I think she's realizing this thing. Okay, this is how things work.
So in a way, it's good that Vandana ventured into entrepreneurship, right? Yeah. So Lakshmi, to you. So at what point did you feel that you and Vaishak should probably start, working together or be entrepreneurs?
So it never would have come even into our wildest dreams that we will be working together. So I actually started my career with Infosys, so I was working with them, and actually Vaishak wanted to have his own space, so he was doing something of his own. So actually we did work for a short while at Amrita into their hospital management system. So that's when, so actually the main thing was like, I had to travel, of course, like I had my daughter, so I had to travel like 100 kilometers a day, back and forth. So that kind of became a very strenuous task for me. So I wanted to settle down somewhere near home. Okay, so wherein I could dedicate more time to the family and my kid and all of that. So then we thought, okay, why not, let's do something together. So Vaishak is somebody who's like, he just likes to be with his laptop. Even if you put him in the center of a forest, he'll be happy. But I'm more like a people person, so I like to interact with people and bring more new alliances and partnerships for the business perspective. So we thought, okay, we complement each other in these different spaces. So we are totally opposites. So I mean, there's nothing that's really common between both of us. So yeah, so being into entrepreneurship together, it's always not being together. So for example, today I am alone here. So he is doing business somewhere else. So he just got a call from the ministry and they asked us to be there. So we say, okay. And I said, okay, I'll do the double role here. So that's how it is. It's not that you have to do everything together. You will not have the same kind of opinions in all. We'll have big fights at home. So being under the same roof, we have difference of opinions and all of that. I'm sure all of you can relate, just being husband and wife, just imagine the number of, difference of opinions that we have. And just imagine having the same amount of it in business too. So people do ask me, how do you guys be together 24/7 even? So even in business and you're doing everything together. That's one thing. It's going to be a tough thing, right? Yeah. So that was our story.
Yeah, I think whether it be relationship or business, it's very important to have partners who complement each other, because that's what makes things work. So as you said about, the whole fight stuffs and all, so I would want to ask one question. What are the challenges and the advantages both that, you guys have experienced by, being life partners as well as business partners?
Actually, so starting a marriage is starting a business is actually saving your marriage. Because if your marriage is in strain or if you want to save it, just start a business. You won't have time to think anything else.
That's true. I totally agree.
And those who are going to marry, please start a business then marry. Then no tension at all. 17 to 18 hours you will be in business and 4 hours in bed and 2 hours if you get time, okay, yes.
And it's like, I think people will even, save their marriage to save their stake in the business, right?
Yes.
That's also an added advantage. Yeah, I'll move on to Lakshmi. What about you? What were the challenges and both the advantages also?
The advantages is that, as I said, we both complement each other in our skill sets, so that way we can take our business and grow it into different levels. So that is there. So we do not have to blindly trust an external person to actually, be co-founders, because we never know what the background is. And when the business, the difference of opinions can actually lead to a split. From the investment point of view, people do say, we don't really invest in couplepreneurs startups. So that is another, challenge that we do face. Generally people don't, we kind of maintain that, the business, people generally don't think that we are husband and wife because that's how the way we behave in terms of the work that we do. Some of the new employees never knew that, we were husband and wife. So that is a kind of, professionalism that we maintain. So we kind of gel up with everybody and, so we don't, really cling on to each other or work together or all the time. That's what we like to be in different spaces. So another thing is managing home, then you will not be able to go for business tours together, if one person or the other has to stay back. So that is one major challenge, that we feel, because if I have to take care of home and my kid and my mom and all of that, then when he's traveling. So again, today I'll have to go back, so that I can send my kid to school tomorrow. So that's kind of challenges that we do.
Okay, talking about difference of opinions, my question would be to Ajeesh and Vandana. So you guys are running completely different startups, right? Health tech and fintech. So Ajeesh, and you are a very experienced entrepreneur, I'd say, and Vandana is fairly new. So has there been any situation where you guys put your feet into each other's business, or tell I just heard you speak that over the phone, don't do that, don't do this. So has there been that happening between you guys? Because obviously you guys are staying under the same roof. So
I basically never used to interfere in this business. First thing is, it's little more than.
But he does.
Yes. So what we can do is, I used to give, basically in entrepreneurship there will be ups and downs. So all we can do is give some mental support or whatever that is necessary. That's all that I used to do from my side. But Ajeesh, definitely, there is a lot of interference. But rather than using interference, I would say that there might be interference or
Ajeesh is waiting to get the mic. Let me just get the mic.
Differences, but that has actually greatly helped us, to build something better, because he always, whenever something is wrong or he thinks that this is not going to work, yes, definitely he has that experience. So that sometimes may end up in fight, but we make sure that, we consider that most of the time, because at the end that used to, actually help us a lot. So agreements and disagreements and interference, definitely, yes.
let's hear Ajeesh because he wants to say something. He's very.
Maybe interference may be a wrong word to use probably. So, so I used to mentor them during their initial MVP launches and things like that. So one good thing which happened for me, I mean, the advantage which I had during the mentorship was that when your company grows to a certain stage, you stop thinking about those initial jugaads and stuff which you used to try it out on your startup at that point of time. But trying to mentor an early stage startup, your mindset is on that side, right? You start thinking about jugaads, but that helped me in my business as well, because when I go back to my office, I try to think about jugaads rather than thinking about processes. So this has helped me a lot, but I don't know, like from it's not interference, maybe kind of a mentorship is you tend to.
It looks like Ajeesh is very offended with the word interference. Like it's not interference, it's not. But yeah, we all get it because see, at the end of the day, especially, I mean, otherwise also co-founders usually, they criticize, and that's not a bad thing. Constructive criticism is always good. And when it comes to couples, and we are very brutal, right? Like we are very brutal. There is we are very vulnerable. There is no mask, nothing. So yeah, I mean it's very blunt on face, doesn't matter. We won't even bother, okay, will they feel bad? But if it's somebody who's not a family, like, oh, what will they think? They might not like it, so let's sugarcoat it. But when it comes to husband and wife, because that happens between me and Asif also, when it comes to husband and wife, we are very brutal. And he always tells me, it's like, you're so sweet to the employees, why are you like this to me? So yeah, I think it's a very natural thing between couples.
So one more thing I would like to add. If we segregate our duties, then there is no problem. Because Jobin look after all the operation stuff. And I personally check the technical side. So it's like anything that need to be decided, if it is in the technical side, the last vote is from mine. If it is operation, then Jobin. So it's like no issues.
Yeah, so talking about the different skill sets, so I would also like to know from you guys, what are the different skill sets that you bring to your startup, like as an individual?
So actually my graduation was in zoology and post-graduation was in journalism. So obviously I don't know anything about technical, so Jismi will do that. Jismi is technical, so she can.
Yeah, like the complementary skill sets that you both bring to the table.
So basically, Jobin used to talk to people really nicely. He can handle the people really good. Yeah. So I'm not that people person, but I can be in a group, no issues. But if it is a strange person, I feel a bit awkward. But Jobin, that skill is complementing really well, and it's helping a lot.
Yeah, it's always nice, right, when one person is very outgoing and the other one is a little, held back. The combination is quite good. What about you guys? Like, I know complementary skill sets will not be effective in your startup individually, but then yeah, he has been your mentor, so he's been giving you a lot of advice. So I'll ask Ajeesh, so what is the skill set that you see in Vandana, when you mentored?
I think, just like what Jismi was telling, right, she is a people's person, even though she's not from tech, she's really good in communicating on the business side of things. So, because tech can come along, with that, but the main thing is that you have to have the business first and then thing. So that's one thing I have seen in Vandana, but I always tell her that you should have a tech co-founder as well in your organization, because it's very difficult to move forward once you don't have someone.
Lakshmi, what about you?
We have that complementary skill sets. So Vaishak is somebody who sits in codes 24/7. I mean, if he's not disturbed even for a glass of water, he'd be happy with that. So I kind of like, going to events, networking and, meeting new prospects and all of those kind of things. Even though we do have to take turns because of being in the same family. So I think the whole success of a couplepreneur, I would attribute it to the family support that we get actually. Otherwise, it's never possible. Because if we don't really get that strong, back support from our family, especially from the parents, I mean, we will never be able to be where we are. There was a time because we are, laying the entire hope on this particular startup that you've started. I mean, we really say, okay, this is our second product, first being our daughter. So, I mean, we put, this is our baby. So, and we care for it just like we care for our daughter as well. So, and especially you put all your, life savings, everything into that, and if there is no output, I mean, then you're like in a state wherein, okay, there's nothing to run the home. So now the parents are like, okay, now we're going to chuck you out of the home, better earn something for yourself, don't rely on our pensions. Okay, so that is, but luckily we've been, getting that kind of very strong support from them. So that is what helped us to kickstart. But now we've been able to scale up, and yes, as I said, like there's always difference of opinions. But ultimately there is, there's a vibe wherein we kind of come to a single point where we do understand each other and relate to each other and, help in the growth of the business.
Got it. So we all usually talk about business strategies. So I would want to ask all you three couples, what are the few strategies that you guys have tried to implement to maintain a healthy work-life balance? I know work-life balance is, basically something that does not exist, but let's just hear from them. So three strategies that you have tried to implement to maintain a healthy work-life balance.
So now we can. But initially it was really tough for saying a work-life balance. We haven't heard that word before. Now, since we have employees, we have people who is taking care of all the things. We just need to give strategic directions, they will take care of everything. Now, what we do is like from 6 to 9, it's exclusively for family. No meetings, nothing. So the kids, everybody, after taking care of, we have 3 kids. So after taking care of them, then only we'll start. After 10 only we'll start, if there is a meeting, we'll start that. And we have a really good support from our parents. Of course, both of our parents are really helping. Now also they are looking after my small kid. It's just 1.5 years. So they are looking after them. And another thing that we do is like if we have a fight, we go for a drive. So by the time we reach office, it'll be solved.
So I think it's a cool-off period basically, the drive.
Yesterday we came from Charakudy to here, and there was 6 hours of that. First 2 hours, we talked about a lot about the other things. 1 hour we have planned all the strategies, all the opinion differences, and the next 3 hours, absolute silence.
Because I was sleeping.
I was just about to ask that. So thank you so much. What about you guys, Vandana and Ajeesh? I mean, you guys are both entrepreneurs, so
I think maybe that stage of reaching that work-life balance has not yet been there for us, because probably we are in that, maybe, for her and for myself, little early right now. But still, it's difficult sometimes to actually stitch together that work-life balance, because especially when you have some urgent meetings or things like that, you will have to spend a lot of time in doing that. So, but what we have done is that we consciously try to spend some time with family. We have some personal times and kept as it is. So, but we are yet to reach that stage where there can be an imbalance. But it's more about also understanding the passion between both of us. Like, okay, you have a passion, you have to follow that. So it's more about understanding as well then there will be balance. It may not be work-life balance, but probably some kind of balance between.
It's basically integrating both together. Yeah. Balance is like, as I said, for at least first few years until you have everything in autopilot mode, it's very difficult to achieve. Yeah. Lakshmi, what about you?
Yeah, so what we do is like for Vaishak is a different league of person wherein he would rather align with what Narayana says. You work 80 hours a week. So for him it's like morning. I don't know what time he gets up, 3 a.m., 4 a.m. I mean the first person to rise from the bed and maybe the last person to go to sleep. So he's always with his laptop. So for him that's the whole thing. So I have to bring in that balance. So I'd have to try to stick in, maybe till 6 or something at work, and then I can dedicate more time for family. In the morning, I have to take care of the rest of the things till she's off to school. And then I kind of organize the daily, the stand-up meetings, align everything with the team and all of that. So he tried to say, look more into the technical space, but there is something, always that you always have to extend yourself, or you have to cross that limit sometimes, especially during the initial hours. So just like marriage, it's like even if you are the best husband or a best wife, you need to have a successful marriage life. There's going to be a lot of adjustments among both of you. The same caters to being entrepreneurs as well. So we'll have to adjust in order to have a successful brand in the market, right? So that's what is all about adjustments and how you balance it with each other. So it's like it happens, it just happens in a flow. Like there's nothing that you can work or put the right ingredients that becomes a perfect output, but it just happens.
Yeah, we don't have a perfect playbook, as in how we can go. It's like, okay, some days you do 60, the other days I do 50, so yeah, that's how it works. So, just talking about the balance. So yeah, I know you all have your departments, differentiated very clearly, but sometimes there are some crucial decisions, that all the founders together will have to take. So when there's a difference of opinion in that situation, how do you guys manage and how do you guys reach to a final decision?
Ladies first.
Many times it's slowly. So it's like we have clear segregation. So it's like we haven't faced that issues. If we have any critical decisions to be made, we wait for at least 3 days. So that we'll have a lot of thoughts initially, right? So we'll think twice or thrice before taking that decision.
To Vandana and Ajeesh, it's a little different. So Ajeesh, you've been mentoring Vandana, right? So obviously, whether it be MVP stage or whatever stage your startup is, there'll be a lot of decisions that you'll have to make. And yeah, she's the founder of Curate, but then you're mentoring her. So has there been any, disagreement between you both? Like you think that okay, you're the mentor and you tell her, this is better, but then she's like, no, I think this is better. So if there has been any, how have you guys managed it?
So they're having situations where, I am into a medical background. So such situations like how the wellness plan should be, he may not have a lot of knowledge on it. But he will be thinking the technical side or maybe how the user would be using it, and I may give a lot of information which the user may feel that it's too much. So considering that factors, definitely we had agreements. Sometimes we feel that this is not enough. You need to give more. Like that. So, but he always say that if it is short, it is always better. So in such situations, definitely we had agreements. But at the end of the day, I used to agree with him most of the events.
Ajeesh, it looks like Ajeesh wants to add on something.
She's right on the agreement side. Disagreements do happen because as he was rightly mentioning, coming from a tech background, you tend to she finds some bugs in the app. So it might be a very small bug, right, which you don't even care for them, but I tell them it's okay, it's a small bug, we'll later fix it. No, we have to fix it, otherwise we can't go live. So such kind of disagreement, I try to make her understand that okay, there's no perfect product in the world. So everything takes time, everything has to work.
Got it. I mean, that was
Perfectionist.
So actually, ladies first, what I was telling them, the issue is, the thing is that my understanding and my experience is that the Jismi has that knack to solve any issues that is related to strategy or finance. So in that case, so I always think maybe Jismi or the feminine characters are good for taking decisions on those areas. Whereas in human resource or anything related to operations, then of course I can do better decisions.
Yeah, I think women have the attention to detail, inherently. So that's what maybe she was, pointing out about the bug, because that bug was very big for her, but it was something, very trivial for you. So yeah, I think we have that, because that happens with me and Nasif also. If there's any kind of proofreading to be done, when I do it, I'm like, okay, there's a little more space here. Over here, space has to be reduced. The website alignment, this is not proper. So anybody else who sees with the naked eye, they're like, what is this girl telling? I mean, what is she telling? I can't find anything wrong. But then, yeah, I think we have attention to detail, and in some cases, it's quite good also, right? Lakshmi, what about you?
Yeah, so I also do come from the same space. I am more of like a perfectionist, and he's like, no, it works this way, let it be. So it has to be this way. It's like, it's okay, but let's leave it like that for this time. So, yeah, so basically, I mean, as of now, we really don't have that really individualistic space wherein we always get into each other's, domains, especially when it comes to hiring, it's like, WWF kind of thing. So we have Amar Ho, who's acts as a referee. So that's where I said family support matters. So she's like, okay, stop. Both of you, go to your own.
She's a referee.
Yeah. So that's what happens. I mean, major difference of opinions when it comes to hiring the right person, or going to which investor and what kind of strategies do we tell them. All of those things. He might be too blunt at times. Then I'm like, no, you should have told it this way. So these kind of things do happen. Yeah, but ultimately, by the end of the day, both of us, do come to a compromise. Okay, let's leave it like this for this time. Next time we'll sort it out.
Got it. So you just mentioned about family support, right? So I would want to ask you all, in what ways have you got, I mean, we all know that no matter whoever does not support you, your family is always there, through thick and thin. So what were the few memorable instances where, your family has been of great support to you guys, especially during the starting times of startup? It's very important, and especially having 3 kids, it's not easy. I mean, I have 2 cats, it's still not easy for me. I can't imagine having 3 kids and, running a startup and being a mom and everything together. So how has family been with you guys through thick and thin?
So first thing is that for starting a company, we need full support, because we are resigning from our job. There is no earning, so they have to believe in us. That is the first thing they did. And for all the friends, family, everyone was supporting us. I think there was no one from our family say, okay, wow, why you are doing this? Why don't you go for a job? Nobody from our family said that. That's the first thing I would say. Then next, of course, we have meeting at different time. We have customers from US, so they'll be calling at night 2, 3. So it's like the kids are sleeping with us. So anyway, they are taking care of. My call, then Jobin will take care of kids. If it's Jobin's, then I will take care. If we both have meeting, we'll need to balance. So that is the another thing.
So then we have started our first company. So our kid was just 3 months old. And even during that time, we worked 80 hours and our Amma was looking at. My Amma is 70 years old now. And sometimes she is looking after the youngest children.
Yeah, I mean, support comes from different ways, right? Yeah. What about Vandana and Ajeesh? Vandana, like, you were a practicing doctor, right? So, when you were venturing into entrepreneurship, what was the support and response from your family? I mean, I totally know that, you know, Ajeesh was a great support, but what about your family?
So I come from a family who are my father is already into business. So it's after my completing my masters, the first thing that my dad told me is, why don't you start something on your own? So but we have that always picking up the safer side. So I actually joined as an assistant professor in a college, and then finally I was actually working as a doctor in a clinic. So and for a certain amount of time, so that I can settle on myself for some time as well. So, but yeah, but I think he would be the most happiest one when he can see, when I'm sitting here. So I think, yeah, it's been a great support from my family as well as from his family. So yeah, I'm truly blessed with that.
Are you a single daughter or you have
No, I have my sister. She's my co-founder as well.
Oh, okay. Is she here?
Yes.
Oh, hi. So I think fathers usually have that soft corner towards their daughters, right? Because when me and Naseem got married and when we came to Cochin, they were not aware of our startup. They asked us like, you guys are not getting back to work. So that's when we told them we were starting this. So my dad was like kind of worried. Oh my God, my daughter just got married. I thought she's in safe hands. Now the guy left the job. She also left the job. So he was technically our first investor when we were raising, funds from our friends and family. So at the end of the day, no matter whatever your parents tell you, they do have that soft corner. When you are in the pit, it's basically your family who comes and helps you. Lakshmi, what about you?
Yeah, obviously, family is the most biggest pillar for our startup. So, but we did have, both supportive pieces and not also at times, because when we just launched the product, it was COVID. We had to face the COVID shutdown. We couldn't meet any person. So, cybersecurity is more of like a trust factor wherein we have to go and meet people to build that relationship. So we were like clueless of what to do. I mean, we had all our pockets were empty, so we had to solely depend on our families for that. And so I was thinking, okay, so people are like, why don't you just go back to your jobs? I mean, so that is the first question we get from friends, family, and everything. You guys had a good job. Why did you have to leave? Maybe you can restart. And then we start thinking, okay, what should we do next? So these kind of questions do come up. But then we thought, okay, we stand for each other. After all, thinking about all the efforts and hard work, your counterpart has put in. So you don't feel like giving it up so easily, right? Because that was your dream, that was your aspiration. So to all of you, so if you have that kind of dream or aspiration, you should always go for it. I mean, there will be n number of hardships that we'll have to go through. Our dad passed away when we were building this, so it was one of his biggest wish to see us successful. So, I mean, when we got our first award, we were like, okay, so he's not there, but maybe his support is always there with us, which really did matter and, brought the success to us. So this is what keeps coming in. So, yeah, we are always on the game together and it's still keep fighting at home and also in office.
I'm sure your dad must be watching you definitely from somewhere, and definitely his blessings are always on you because yes, here you are. So I know all you guys are doing wonderful in your startup. So I would also want to know what are your future plans, fundraising, scaling. So what's the next step that you guys are planning for?
We are in the cloud ERP, that is our bread and butter. And we have started a new division for IoT. So industrial automation kind of, that is hardware and software. So we can make sensors and collect data, and that data analytics will come to SCADA and SCADA will be that kind of section, and we have already set up a lab, and that is our immediate plan.
I'm actually doubtful now whether is it Jobin who's handling the technical side of their company, or whether if it's just me, because I mean you carried it very well.
She developed, I execute, and I present it.
So one more thing we'd like to add, we haven't looked for any investment yet. So we never had that plan. What we did is we always invest back what we have. We take only very few portion from it and invest back into the system. So I have a suggestion to our friends. It's like, don't go for investment initially. Yeah, you put your all effort and time and build something, then go for investment. That will be much better.
Yeah, so the moment Jismi said don't go for investment, me and Ajeesh were like, okay, we just raised some funds. So Ajeesh, what about you?
I think in a way what Jismi was telling is right, because Zoho, Zerodha, all those are bootstrap startups where they put money from their own hands and build such a $100 million revenue company. So, and as she was rightly mentioning, go for investment after you have a product or a set of customers. For us, coming to future plans, when we started back in 2017, we had a vision to automate finance for businesses. I think somewhere we were able to do that. We started a new line of business wherein we give our software to banks. We just went live with HDFC, Axis and SBI. And we are trying to go aggressively on that distribution channel at this point of time. And in a couple of years, maybe 2-3 years, we are also looking to go public if everything goes well. And we are at a
Hopefully, we wish for that.
And we are at an early revenue generation stage right now. Our platform was free till this point, but we started our revenue as well.
Awesome. Vandana, what are your plans? I really see Curate reaching heights.
Future plans is a long way to go because we just started and we are in pursuit of achieving the product market fit of Curate. But yeah, we do have plans to actually integrate wearable devices in our current module. We have plans to expand our holistic offerings, to give more innovative mental health support, improvise the app, improve the user engagement, include gamification and reward systems into our current module. So yeah, that's what we are looking into, and most importantly, we aspire to be one of the leading voices when it comes to PCOS awareness in both society as well as individual.
Sure. I think so. There's some scope for FemiSafe and Curate to collaborate in future. And I did check out your website because I really love these platforms. So yeah, you've done a wonderful job, and Ajeesh, you did a good job mentoring her. Lakshmi, what about you?
Yeah, so for us, being into cybersecurity space and especially being a product startup, so it was not at all an easy way because hardly very few product startups, across the globe, maybe in this space, maybe around 20 or so. And we are competing with $1 billion company. So one of the competitors just got acquired for around 4 billion. So this is the space that we are in. So that was very, very hard because in the cybersecurity space, as I said, trust is the main thing. So as soon as you launch a product, even though how technically good you are, nobody even will dare to look at you. Okay, they'll just turn their face away. We're just going with the listed products, with the international products. So that was a major challenge. So we can give, even if we give it for free, then they'll doubt, is there something else? How can you give it for such a low cost? These were the things, that challenges that we used to face. Even if you reduce our prices, that's a challenge. Even if we increase, then that's also another challenge. So this was major thing. So initially we got a very small, less than a crore funding from India Accelerator. So now we are actually looking for global expansions because we are into container security, and so that is where more catering to US, Europe, and all of those kind of spaces. Because India market, especially in the container security, it's just it's getting in track. So, and it's a tough game to play over here as well. So that is where we want to actually look into more of global expansions into Asia Pacific, UK, US, and Australia. So it's more of local expansions that are in.
Awesome. So when you told about the acquisition, I think that gives us hope, right? I mean, if the market is so big, then yeah, there's definitely a scope, and one day we can see, Prophase also being acquired. So yeah, fingers crossed. So we are nearing to the end of the session. So again, this is one question that is asked in every single panel, but I think no matter how much we ask, it's not enough. So all you entrepreneurs, I would want you guys to give let's wind up with like 3 points, 3 insights that you would want to give to the future entrepreneurs or somebody who's just started their entrepreneurship from your personal experience that you've had.
So I was talking with a few of my friends in the startup ecosystem, and their concern was undercoating is the current problem which they are facing. If somebody goes to the customer and tell them about the service for 5 lakhs, somebody will go and tell them they can do this for 3 lakhs. So my suggestion is quality is the best strategy, and always fix a price for your service and stick on it, and obviously give good service or a product, whatever it is.
I would say invest your time and energy fully. Don't work and start a startup. That won't work. If you want to really build a company, you have to put all your effort into that particular thing. And second thing, I would say consistency. Don't expect sudden results. Now you can see a lot of startups, they are learning a lot. So don't get confused with that. Be patient, work on it, be consistent in that. That's a true advice I would say.
So yeah, when she said consistency and this whole wave of startup is there, so everybody thinks that okay, you start a startup today, 2 years down the line you'll have so much money in the bank account, because they just see the revenue we make. And let's say if you're making 3 crore annual revenue, they think all the 3 crore we are taking into our bank. Because recently me and Nasif, we had been to a college for a session just like this, and we got a question from the student. At what stage are you guys? Have you guys reached the stage where money brings happiness? So that's what everybody thinks, you do a startup, that means you're super rich. Because of, especially Shark Tank has come, you see, all these entrepreneurs, like coming in super luxurious cars and outfits. Yeah, I mean, it's basically delayed gratification. It's a long way, but you have to have that perseverance and consistency. Consistency is very, very important, as Jismi said. Ajeesh, what about you?
Again, on the consistency side of things, the initial journey in a startup is very difficult. I think, I have seen a lot of my colleagues, friends, some of them, they just give up at some point of time. Okay, I can't do this. I can go beyond this. I'll just shut it down and go for it. I think you might be very close to success, but you think that okay, this is not my thing, right? Maybe a small strategy change or change in your idea. I've seen a lot of people cling on to the idea they have initially thought of, right? Ideas will evolve. Open for that matter was not a product which we envisioned at that point of time. It was completely different from what we have today. We had changed our strategies at different points of time. We had very difficult times initially to convince banks about neo-banking, concept of neo-banking. No one used to understand what it was. Raising fund was difficult. But we tried pursuing it, we tried to tweak our model such that we keep getting the reviews from feedback from investors, initial investors saying that okay, this may not work, but there are some aspects of it which might be true, right? How do you get that feedback, change your strategy a little bit, even change your idea, because you would have thought about one big idea, but you see that customers are not using your platform. Go for it, change, tweak it, and reiterate, right? So this has to continue because in the initial journey is going to be very tough. I'm not telling that right now the journey is smooth. There will be a lot of ups and downs, but be consistent and persistent. Ensure that you don't give up.
Yeah, so basically pivoting is very, very important. Yeah, I mean, most of the time founders get very attached to their product. They're like, no, this is the first product that I thought was the first way. I mean, even we had one situation like that when we launched a product, it didn't work. And it was very difficult for me to let go of it because I put in a lot of hard work and research. Naseem was like, see, we can either, cry over the spilled milk or just move forward. So pivoting is very, very important because if you stay there, you're just going to, lose more money and more time. Vandana, what about you? You're a fresh entrepreneur.
I'm a very fresh entrepreneur, but what I felt was don't sit back thinking that you cannot do this. You can definitely do this if you have that passion and interest in building a product. And always think that you have zero balance or in your account, so that
Is that how it is?
No, so that you think in that way and build something better.
Lakshmi.
So there should be 3 P's always for a startup. So that would be potential, passion and perseverance. So if you have the right potential, you should always go for it. So I mean, you never know, sitting next to you, just like me. So I mean, all of you have equal potential. I mean, there's nobody who's less in terms of caliber or anything. So we've seen the stories across the globe. Like we have the Alibaba founder. We have Steve Jobs. They've come from literally nothing. I mean, they just built it from scratch. After knocking all doors, even after losing all hopes, they just kept going. So that's the whole thing. Keep going. You'll face the worst of times for sure. It's under like you'll face the most difficult phase of your life. You'll have broken relationships, or you'll have zero bank balance and everything of that sort. But if you believe that you have the conviction in your product or your idea, you should just definitely go for it, no matter what happens. And always aim for the moon. At least you can actually land on the stars.
Totally. I would like to add one more P, which is purpose, because I think at the end of the day, when you add value to your consumers, as you said, rather than decreasing the price, make the consumer feel that you're adding some value in their life, and then it's much more easy. I would say very easy, much more easy. So yeah, we've come to an end of the session. So I think we have 5 minutes to take the Q&A. Anybody here who would want to ask questions to our panelists?
Were we really audible, first of all?
I hope so, because I wasn't able to hear my own voice. Anybody questions? Anything? Yeah, okay, we have one question there. Can you just pass the mic?
Rather, I have 2 questions. My name is Thomas. I am from Malappuram. One question is to Ajeesh. You have to excuse. Anish, Ajeesh, Mabel, and you are almost like a role model for us who are from Malappuram. Because a unicorn without taking much of funding, that too in a very short span of 8 years. So you are role models to us. So
That deserves a clap, definitely.
because we are in business or service for last 25 years. So what they made is really fun. Okay. Now my question is to both of you, especially to Doctor. He is a very successful, established mentor or entrepreneur, as you said initially. Do you feel that any time an ego clash comes into the both in personal life as well as in business? Because of the parity level difference between the two businesses. Though you say you are a very early startup, but they are also relatively startup. Though they have very good partners, you don't have that kind of partners. I don't know. You have not explained. So how this ego clash is handled? One. And my second question is to both Jismi and Jobin. Jobin was very diplomatic since the starting. Like the way he is taking care of his wife, he is taking care of everything. So my question is that initially you started saying that the first staff what you developed was a disaster. and one employee came, you moved into an office. We would rather like to know, from that point, how did you scale it so fast to become a 200 employees industry? That was not very visible. So we can briefly explain that point. How that short span of time you did it. Thank you.
Yeah, so Vandana, you can go.
So basically we all stay together. Me, Ajeesh, Abel, we all stay together, even my co-founder Kirtan also. But so it's like a live IIM, school of business for us, learning a lot from these people. But to be very frank, we never had an ego clash. Maybe because they have never, given that chance to feel that. They always made us very comfortable around. And whenever we make some mistakes with whatever we are doing, and those are the people who has actually greatly supported, even not only Ajeesh but Anish and Mabel as well. They are the first people who told, why don't you scale the business, why don't you make it a little big, and all of that. So the entire credit goes to all three of them. So I can never say that in my bottom of my heart that I have felt that ego. Or in a better word, it would be, they have never given us chance to feel that ego. So yes.
Okay, Jobin.
So for ego, actually, we are using NetSuite for our own purpose, and it has got a dashboard where we can see all the business data. If we have any ego issues, then I will come and see the dashboard, and I can see the invoices are getting declared. So the ego will vanish. The second question, that is actually to me. So we have actually started as a mobile application development company. We resigned, our initial plan, everything was for starting a mobile application development company. So Ajeesh has rightly said, we have to change the strategies whenever we need. We have changed the strategy right after the 3 months of initiating the company. We had a customer from Australia who was actually using our service for the mobile application development, and he wanted us to involve in his NetSuite development, and we slightly went into that, and now we understood that it has got a future. So we changed it. So that is how, that is Ajeesh, what Ajeesh was said. Change the strategy always as and when needed.
Actually, it took 11 years to come to this number.
Yeah, so I think your question is quite clear. Your question has been answered. Do we have any other questions? Yes, we have. Okay, so many questions. I think it's in one spark, right? When one person starts asking, everybody becomes quite warm.
My question is to Jobin and Mr. Ma'am. Hello? Yeah. So I was telling my question is to Jobin sir. So I think 30 days back you were in Vegas, right? You were, am I audible properly? Yeah. So 30 days back you were in Vegas, you were in Sweetwood and you were speaking there in US, right? Yeah, so my question is that 11 years back, or when you told that your bread and butter was NetSuite, so when you approached clients in US and you started approaching clients in Kerala, you see it's a price sensitive market here in Kerala, right? So how do you tweak when it comes to services, the pricing of your services and your products?
This is actually a very tricky question to me. Of course, if we go for US and money flow will be great, but if we do something in India, we will get our branding will be high. So that is a difference. So that is one. And for going to US, actually they are coming to us. That was my answer to when Noureen was asking for an insight. So we have to give service or products that should be high quality. Quality should be the strategy. So we always give high quality service to our existing customers. So for more than 40% of our existing customers are referring to their friends and they are coming to us. It means if every year we take the stock of how did we receive the work, more than 35 to 45% of the customers are referred by the customers.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I think we had a question here. I can just pass.
My question is specifically I see your recipe for the product is specifically focusing on PCOS, right? Why PCOS? Why did you focus on that one segment?
Yeah, so actually during my initial days of clinical practice, I have encountered n number of college girls and women who are coming to me with PCOS. The problem was that, I was practicing in a tier 1 city like Bangalore. Even in Bangalore, the misguidance and the misconception that was, and the stigma that was around PCOS was like too much. And currently, 1 in 5 women is suffering with PCOS, which means the prevalence in PCOS in India is really high. So it's a very good domain to work with, and it's a very complex condition wherein we have to put up to that holistic approach where we have to combine everything, and with just medicine or just a tablet is not possible. So that's why we thought PCOS is a very good space to work on.
Thank you.
Yeah, do we have any more questions? If no, then we can wind it up. Yeah. So thank you everyone, and thank you to the panelists. It was really wonderful. It's the first time I'm being a moderator and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, thank you Kerala Startup Mission, and yeah, thanks everyone. Have a nice day.
So thank you Kerala Startup Mission, and thanks to Noureen, our wonderful moderator for the day. So we really had a good time with you as well. So thank you all for being a patient.
Absolutely great. Great to hear all of these things, because one interesting thing which I was hearing, even I am just running a marketing company. So about having the kids and managing the things. Even we have clients abroad, and then I have only one kid. So I was even having that challenge of kids make noise, and sometimes they understand, sometimes it's hard to handle. So it's great to hear, and thank you so much. So from Kerala Startup Mission, a small token of love for all of you, and may